Hi, I'm Carla, the Crazy Cross Stitch Lady. Welcome to my craft room. I am so happy to see you again. If you are a returning subscriber, thanks for coming to visit with me in the craft room. And if you are a new subscriber, thank you for joining me. And I hope that you find some joy and that you enjoy your visit while you are in here in the big purple room. So, to all my fellow Americans, happy 4th of July. Here we go. So happy 4th of July to you. And this is the day that I'm recording this. And if you are not American, happy Friday to you. So Friday's always an awesome day, right? Okay, so I have several things that I'm going to go over with you. I'm just going to talk about just some everyday stuff here at first. So if you are not interested in hearing the everyday goings on with moi, then I always put timestamps in the videos down at the bottom in the description box. So if you are here strictly for the cross stitch and you're like, yeah, whatever, then you can go down there and you can go ahead and click on that first project that I list, and then it'll just go on from there. Okay, so let me give you some life updates here. Well, so for the last month, I have not had internet. It's been such a happy time around here. We get very spoiled with those kinds of things. So I haven't been able to upload a video. Even if I had wanted to, I would not have been able to. I guess I could have sat in the library for a while and waited for it to upload while I worked on stuff, which I did make several trips to the library because I did have to do some stuff for work that just really needed to get done. And we went round and round with our internet company, and we were not making much progress, and they were giving us the runaround basically, and not really giving us answers as to why we actually had an area outage, and they would not tell us why we had the area outage, could not give us any just basic answers. And then finally, about 3 weeks into this process, we were getting pretty fed up, and the internet service we were getting was not that great anyway. So I finally got to speak to an actual local technician, and I said, this is the most help that I have gotten in a long time. And he said, I'll tell you what, I told him we were going to cancel our service. I'm just waiting for my husband to transfer his emails from that email service to just a more general one. So he said, I don't blame you. I completely understand. He said, if you do have some issues before you cancel, he said, don't put in a ticket. You've got my number now. You call me directly and I will make sure that things are taken care of. And so I told him I greatly appreciated that and I would keep that in mind. And hopefully I won't have to call him. But we are getting rid of everything, including our landline. And my husband and I are the dinosaurs who are used to having a landline. We have always had one. It's been our security blanket, basically. It's our backup because we use our cell phones all the time. But we've always had a landline, and now pretty soon we will not have one. And so it's kind of like, oh, okay. I guess I'm just going to have to get used to this. But hopefully it will be for the better for us. So we'll see how it goes. So we ended up getting another internet service. Finally, we found one. There aren't very many who will service our area, and I can see the main road from my house. We don't live way out in the country. Now, we don't live in town, but I would not consider where we are way out in the boonies. But they act, as far as the internet goes, they act like we're in Narnia or something. So it's just been very difficult, but we finally found one. It's a faster service. We're back online, and it's going to be interesting. As I'm recording this, I'm thinking, I wonder how fast we're going to be able to I'm going to be able to upload this video to YouTube this time after I get all my editing and stuff done, which I'm actually trying out I have this microphone because I thought sometimes in my videos, I feel like I hear like an echo in the room as I'm talking. And so I thought using a microphone would help with the sound. So I'm going to use this microphone with this video. Thank goodness it didn't cost me a whole lot of money. So if the microphone doesn't work out, or if you all don't like it, please let me know. If you're like, I don't like that sound, please let me know, and I will go back to just using the camera's microphone as my microphone. But I wanted to try this out to see if I could get some of that echo out of the background. And you may or may not have cared or noticed, but I was noticing it a little bit, so it kind of bothered me. So I thought I would get fancy and try out this microphone. Yeah, you all know how fancy I get, right? Okay, so let's see. I was trying to think if there's anything else. The internet out being was the big thing. We were so happy to get back. I felt like as soon as I hopped on YouTube, I felt like I was getting whiplash, because before it's like we were using cell service. It was spin, spin, spin. So anyway, I think that's it. So let me go ahead and start with my shout out, as I normally do. I've subscribed to a few new channels, and so this one is called The Stitching Owl. And she is a lady from Ontario, London, Ontario, Canada. And I love Canada. I love my neighbor Canadians. I just wanted to let you all know that. I love the Canadians. They are awesome people. The ones that I've met. I've been to Canada. I was in, okay. I have forgotten. I forgot. Maybe if I remember which place I was in. It was on the western side of the country. I hate it when I do that. I hate it. So anyway, if I remember as I'm talking, I will suddenly just have a squirrel moment and some say, "Oh, it was so and so." Okay, so anyway, I have really enjoyed her videos. She has a pretty good little channel there, and her channel's about the same size as mine, so we're twins in that respect. But she is very, I like the way she takes her time when she goes over her projects. It makes me want to slow down. I like the way that she explains her thinking and the process and all of the things that she uses in her projects. And to me, she would be a really good one to watch with, as a beginner stitcher. Beginner stitchers, if you're watching her, you start learning how people think through their projects and the choices that they make. And she just, her voice is very soothing to me. And she's just not rushed at all. And so I can feel myself calming down as I watch her. So I would love for you to go check her out. And plus, I'm sorry, my nose is itching. She has some of the most interesting and varied projects, and the fabrics she uses are beautiful. Her stitching's awesome, and at the end, a lot of times she will play. She plays the piano. She's been a music teacher, and so she'll play little, just like for a minute or two, she'll play a little part of a piece for you, which I think is just awesome. She'll do that at the end of her episodes. So I'm going to write her name down here. I should have already done this. I said I was going to start doing this because I'm going to start copying. Speaking of another FlossTube, our Bluegrass Blessings FlossTube. There are three ladies, and they have a cross stitch shop in LNS, which is in Greenup, Kentucky, which is in way far eastern part of the state. When I went to visit them, what was it, 2 years? No, about a year and a half ago. Not quite 2 years. Gosh, I can't believe it's been that long. But when I went there, it took me a good 3.5, close to 4 hours to drive, because Kentucky is not a wide state. It can take you a few hours if you go from like the top tip to the bottom tip. But going across, we have a long state. And so it takes several hours. If you're going from tip to tip, it's going to take you several hours to drive across it. So even from the middle of the state where I am, it took me several hours to get there. So they're in the very eastern part of the state. But when they were introducing some of their floss tubes, they wrote down the name on a piece of paper and held it up so that you could actually see that. So what I am going to do, which I should have done probably a long time ago, is I am going to, because I have my little editing program and can be fancy about it, I will put the name of the floss tube up in there. So the Stitching Owl, I will have her, she's listed here. And by the time you see this video, it'll already be up there. And I, of course, as usual, I will put a link to her floss tube down in the description box. Please go check her out. Go give her some love. I think that if you like my style of videos, you're probably going to like hers because it's similar, and it just a very calming, very nice, pleasant to listen to, especially stitching too. It's just very nice to listen to. So go check her out. Okay, so we did we started in the My Southern Porch Stitching group, which is one of our E-Town or Elizabethtown stitching groups. She has a Facebook page. Her name is Laura. So she has a Facebook page where we post our things, and we haven't had a lot of activity on there lately. And so Laura decided that she wanted to get people to be a little more active. So she started doing like a question of the day. It may become a question of the week just to get people participating. And she already does like a Whip Wednesday where you post what you're currently working on. And now she's come up with a list of events to do. So one of them that we did, it started on June 15th and went through the 30th. And we called it a StartaThon. And so you were supposed to start probably around 5 or 10 new projects. Well, I decided to start 5, or you could start however many you wanted. So I started 5. And so as I'm showing you my whips today, I will, if it's one of my StartaThon pieces, I'll tell you this is one of my StartaThon pieces. So I haven't gotten very far on those, but I do have 5 new starts. And so I decided that I was going to change up my whip rotation. And we'll see how this goes. But let me explain to you what I decided to do. So I've got currently about 17 whips. So I decided I've got 2 full coverage pieces, and then I've got one that is going to be a gift. And I can't show you that right now, but I will do a separate video. Once I'm finished with that, I'll do a separate video and show that. And then once I have given that to the recipient, then I will put it in one of my videos. So I decided to take the 2 full coverage and the gift. Those are the ones that I really need to be touching more often so that I can get them done. Because if you do full coverage, like I know some of you do, you all know it takes a good long while to do it. And I'm a slow stitcher anyway. So even with smaller pieces, it takes me a while to do them. So I pulled those 2 and I pulled the gift because I really want to get that done. I've already been working on that much longer than I wanted to. I'd like to get it done so I can give it to that person. So I pulled those 3 out. And those are the ones that always stay in the crate. I've got a whip crate that I put beside the sofa in the living room, and I keep those there. Then I took the remaining 14, 15, whatever it is, and I split those in half. And the reason I did that, it wasn't anything other than just seeing half of them. To me, psychologically, it makes it more doable. So I took half of them and I put them in my crate. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first one and I work on that. And I have this task timer app that I use, and because it may take me a few days just to do a few hours of work, because especially when I'm working full time, sometimes I might be able to get an hour stitching in, sometimes it might be 10 minutes. So it's just how it is right now. So once I get about 6 hours of work done on one of those pieces in that whip pile, then I will go to one of those other three. Like I'll go to one of my full coverage, work on that for about 6 hours. Then I'll come back to my other pile of whips and I'll work on the next one. Then I'll go to my second full coverage one. Then I'll come back to like the next one in my whip pile. Then I'll go to the gift. And what I'll do is I'll be doing, excuse me, pardon me just a minute. I'm going to pause because my throat for some reason is getting dry. I haven't been in teach mode for a little bit, and so it's starting to affect me. So let me go get some water. I will be right back. If I can find my pause button here. There we go. Okay, we're going again. All right. Serves me right, because I've heard some other people complain about their throat getting scratchy and they're not used to talking a lot. And I'm sitting here as a teacher and I have to talk all the time, all day. And so normally when I do these videos, it's like, nah, doesn't faze me. Well, right now it is. So I'm thinking, good night. When I retire, I'm probably going to have to make sure I've got water sitting by, because when you're not used to talking all the time, or you haven't done it in a little while, then it can make your throat kind of like, ugh. So anyway, my apologies for getting a little bit ahead of myself there. So anyway, so that's how I plan to do my rotation, where I'm working on the gift and then the two full coverages in between each of my other whips. And then once I get that set of whips done, I'm going to bring them back in here in the craft room and pull out the other set of whips and do the very same thing and work on them. And that way, all of my whips are getting touched at some point, and some that I really need to keep working on will be getting touched very often. So I will keep you updated and let you know how that works. I was trying to explain this to another floss tuber because, like, I'm trying to think of a new rotation. And so he said, what are you doing? And I told him, and I said, does that make sense? He said, like, oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense. So hopefully that made sense to you. So, okay. Now, let's see. Let me go ahead and start going through my whips. So I'm going to start with the two full coverages that I am currently working on that I will be touching quite often. So this first one is my Buster and Brown Eyes, and I just love Buster and Brown. So this is a photo conversion by PC Stitch. So once I see Buster's face, I'll know if this is really going to work. But let's see, I don't have my board here, so let me do it this way. Okay, so here's the picture of Buster and Brown Eyes, and yes, I am going to do it in the black and white because Buster's a silent film star and they were in black and white. So this is being done on a 16 count Ada. And we're starting to see his face. So let me fold it. Yeah, this sucker's big. I think this is going to be close to like a 16 by 20 when I'm done. And I'll show you the colors because they're so, they're so different. All of this is DMC. So it's, let's see, 44 colors. There are 44 colors in this. A lot of grays, some browns, some tans, some light colors, and all of those get mixed together to give you that kind of grayish look. Not sepia, but gray. Okay, so I'm in this top corner here, and we're getting to his face. And so this is where I am right now. And on this 16 count, this is very pleasant to stitch on. It's very pleasant to work on. And I have to say that PC Stitch is really, I like the way that they print their patterns. They're very easy to see. So I do have to say that about PC Stitch, that it's very nice, very pleasant to work on. So if this does look as good as they claim that it's going to look, then I may be sold on PC Stitch. Although there are some patterns where, I don't know, some of them don't transfer quite as nicely. So we'll see. That's why my other piece is on a different conversion program. Okay, so let me put that there. Speaking of, this is my Lincoln piece, and some just fell on the floor. So guess who's going to have to get up in just a minute? Okay, so let me get the paper out here. All right, so this is Log Cabin Legacy. This is a photo collage that I made of Abraham Lincoln and his wife and just things dealing with his presidency. And it's a mix of black and white, sepia tones, and color. So this is what it will look like. And yes, everything, all the color, the black and white, the frame is going to be stitched. So everything, all the white around the pictures, everything's going to be stitched. This conversion is through Pattern Maker for Cross Stitch. I actually used that program on my Michael Jackson piece. And so if you haven't seen my Michael Jackson piece, I think I've got one video that is labeled MJ is finished or the Michael Jackson piece is done. You can go back and take a look and see what he looks like. So this is being done on an 18 count Aida, white Aida, and I am in the top corner working on Mary Todd. And this one I'm pretty confident about, but I'll know once I get to her face, I'll know if it's going to be too pixelated and I need to do something different. So here's where I am right now. And they are small stitches, but I'm doing okay with it. I'm doing okay with it. Now, all my full coverage that I work on is Aida, because first of all, it makes it a little bit more manageable for me. And second of all, Aida is cheaper, and typically with full coverage patterns, you have to have a lot of material because they're not necessarily large, but the ones that I'm doing are large. And so it's just cheaper to have Aida rather than paying more money for Lugana or something like that. Okay, let me go get the pieces that fell, and I'll be right back. I love the pause button on this thing. It's much better. It's much better than trying to put different pieces of film together, for sure. Okay, so here are, now I noticed as I was doing this, I thought, you don't have any like small, really small pieces. I don't have any small. So I'm trying to rectify that and start incorporating some smalls because I really need some ornaments. I really do. Oh, I didn't show you all the colors. There are over 100 colors for my Lincoln piece. Yeah, this is the set Jennifer likes to play with. So, yes, my friend Jennifer from Stitching in the Bluegrass, she likes to, we've done some videos together, and she just gets a kick out of that floss every time. Okay, so this is Barn Sweet Barn 2023 Sal. I've been working on this for a while. I'm not in any hurry on this. I'm not trying to, try to get this done in any certain amount of time. I'm just enjoying it. This is a very nice stress-free stitch. So every star looks like this. This happens to be the January one, but all the stars take that same form, and it's a darker and a lighter version of a particular color along with white. And so what I'm doing is I'm stitching all the stars, And then I'm going to finish them all together at the same time, so they're all finished the same way. I have a wooden barn that I have painted red, and I am going to magnetize these and magnetize the barn so that I can change those out with each month. And so I will label the backs of each one with the month that it is, and then I'll change those out. These are all being done on 25 count white Lugana, and I have discovered I love 25 count white Lugana, or 25 count Lugana, period. It is just really pleasant to stitch on. Plus, my eyes like it better. But this month I'm working on is June. So I finally got to June. I'm halfway through. And so June, these are the June colors. And so they're pretty greens. And so here is where I am currently. Not very far, but I'm getting a little bit faster with the stars. And again, and sometimes I have to remind myself. And so I want to also remind not only beginner stitchers who are out there, because I have a lot of beginner stitchers or people just coming back to it. I have a lot of those people subscribing to my channel, which is awesome. But even a reminder to those of us who have been stitching for 40, 50 years, this is not a race. And I think sometimes, especially when I hear certain people on the FlossTubes, they talk about their plans, but then they'll talk, and that's great to have plans. And some people will have their calendars out and they'll work on certain things certain days, which is awesome. It's an awesome way to do it. I just explained what my rotation is, and I do it by time worked on each project. But when that becomes the law of the land and you have not given yourself any room to be flexible or to change your mind, like I've changed my rotation a few times based on where I am in my life, based on just what I feel like, then it's not fun anymore. So if you ever get to a point where you're doing things and it's not fun, stop. It's a hobby. So just keep that in mind as you're trying to figure out if you want to do a rotation, because some people don't even want to do a rotation. They're like, I can't handle that. And I get it. I completely get it. Okay. So this one actually, this Barn Sweet Barn is one. I decided to make the June star one of my starts, one of the 5 starts in the StartaThon. So I started that. Okay, now this one, and I want to work on this. I'm probably not going to have time to work on it today because right now as I'm recording it, it is 3:30 in the afternoon, and I on Fridays I go get my mom. And that's a good time for me to look at any paperwork she needs me to look at. If there happens to have been something to come in the mail that she doesn't understand, she wants me to take a look at it, especially at the beginning when my dad first died. My dad died about a year and a half ago now. I can't believe it's been that long, but he's been gone for about a year and a half. And at the beginning, there was just a lot of paperwork, as I'm sure many of you know. And so I was having to help her work through that. And even though he kept his affairs in order pretty well. But I just do that when I go visit with her, I just check. And there's not a lot now, but just in case. But I typically leave here around 4:30. So I may have just enough time to get this started, because this has to upload to the cloud before I can even start editing on it or anything. So I might have time to be able to get that started before I take off and go see my mama. Okay, so this one, so it means I guess I better get moving, huh? All right, this one is Founding of America by Twin Peaks Primitives. Oh, and I forgot to say, the Barn Sweet Barn is Fat Quarter Shop. Okay, so this is Founding of America by Twin Peaks Primitives. This is a much older sow. This started out as a sow, and I have not touched this in a long time. I put this away for a while to work on some other things, and I absolutely love this. So I thought, what better time than July to start working on this again? And so these are the colors that go with it. And I was going to stitch on it today, but I just had some other things I wanted to get done. So I didn't, but that's okay. This is on a 28 count lamb's wool Lugana. And this thing, it's huge. It is huge. Huge, huge, huge. But let me get this folded so we can focus on what I've got done. Not a lot. I'm in the upper corner. So this is what I've gotten done so far. I am looking forward to working on it this month. And I'm going to, of course, I'll be working on it next month too. So I'll be touching this more often. And speaking of next month, which is August, our friend Kenny, who he has a floss tube called Kenny Stitches. And I will list his floss tube down below as well. But he is doing a birthday sal, and it is the let's see, abandoned sal. So this one would qualify for that because I haven't touched this in a long time. So if you have any sals that you've just kind of put to the wayside, or you put them in timeout for whatever reason, if you want to get that sal back out and work on it for the month of August, that's what Kenny is asking us to do for his birthday month. And also, if you haven't checked out Kenny's channel, it's called Kenny Stitches. I'll put that up here, and I'll also link his floss tube down below. So right now it looks like I've got 3 floss tubes that I'm linking down below, because Bluegrass Blessings will need their shout out too. All right, this next one is, I love this one because this one's part of my Purple Passion wall. That's what I've decided to name it, y'all. Purple Passion. Okay, this is Blue Rhapsody by Rosewood Manor. And I've got like this top portion done, and then I've been working on the letters here. Mine is not going to be blue. It is going to be purple. And so, because I'm having a purple passion wall, not a blue passion wall. This one is done on a 14 count Ada. The color is called Everything Else. And so, sorry, I'm having to swipe some notifications away. Some of my colleagues, once they start posting about something, I love them dearly, but they just won't stop. It just goes and goes and goes. And I'm like, stop already. I love you, but you're getting on my nerves. You've already said what you need to say. But it's like everybody has to chime in, and there's a big group of us. So, okay. This is on a 14 count opalescent Ada called Everything Else. And I've got 2, a lighter and a darker purple, that I am using for this. And so this is what I currently have. I am loving this. And this I am going to have professionally framed. So I've decided anything that's going on my Purple Passion wall is going to be professionally framed. And I really like the color of the modeling of that Everything Else. So it's Mystic Fabrics is the producer of that fabric. And the only thing I don't like about it is that the weave is a little bit more open than typical Ada is. And so my needle sometimes wants to go through spots it should not be going through. Okay, this is another from my StartaThon. I just wait. I gotta see what the name of this fabric is. Oh, it's so lovely. All right, this one I've been wanting to try modern folk embroidery again. I did one, I had a mishap with one that it just, I started stitching on it, and it was 36 count fabric I was using, and it just wasn't working for me. And so I abandoned it. But this is a new one. This is from Modern Folk Embroidery, and it is called Baldaquin Birdies. Now, it's not the full Baldaquin Birdies pattern. This is a portion of the pattern, but it's still a pretty good little size. So let me show you what that looks like. I absolutely love the birds and like the little chandelier look in there. And I love it because Jacob of Modern Folk Embroidery always puts a story in there. I won't go over the whole story right now, but when I have a little more time, then I may do that for you and just read you the whole story because it is interesting. But this fabric is also Mystic Fabrics. I like Mystic Fabrics. This one is a 28 count Lugana, and the color is Brain Fog. And I am stitching this with silk. I've never stitched with silk before. I'm so excited. I was so excited. So I'm stitching with Classic Colorworks, the Belle Soie, Laura Lilac. Oh my goodness, y'all. Oh, I didn't know what I would think about this. Oh, it is heavenly to stitch with. But there won't be very many projects with this. I have decided I'm doing this whole project in silk. But there won't be a lot because silk's expensive. And if you're not sure how expensive it is because you've never bought silk, one of these skeins, and you know, even though this is 12 strands, it's 5 yards, but it's 12 strands and not 6. So you're getting quite a bit, but it's still almost 3 times the price. Like DMC is what, how much here now? It's like $1 something a skein, something like that. Maybe not even quite $1 yet. Expensive enough. I mean, it used to be like 25 cents a skein, so it's changed quite a bit. This is on 123 Stitch, and they're typically cheaper than other places, but it's like a little over $7 a skein. Oh, it's going to be so worth it. Okay, so this is Brain Fog Mystic Fabrics. I love this fabric, and here's where I've started up in the corner. Oh, I just love the look of it and the feel of it. It is, oh, it's so pretty. It's just, it has a very subtle variegation to it. Oh, yeah. If you have never stitched with silk, you got to do it. This is my permission to you to try. Just buy one skein. Do a small that can take one color, one skein. I think you'll be happy. I really do. Okay. Now, I forgot what this one is because I think this is one of my new ones. Is it? Oh, yes, it is. Yes. Okay. So this is, hold on, let me, yeah. Don't tell me I don't have the picture of it up front. Please don't tell me that. I always put the picture in here. It's going to irritate me if I don't have. I bet I don't. Dang on it. Okay, so I will have to insert, because I did take a photograph of the front. So I'll have to insert it here. So this is Winter Rose Manor, and I don't know why I don't have the actual picture up front here. Oh well, I will put it in here. So Winter Rose Manor is another of my starts for the StartaThon. I am doing this because I saw this on Cynthia's video, Cynthia the Intuitive Stitcher. She and I have talked quite a bit outside of our FlossTubes, and she's one of my stitchy friends, and she has enabled me to start this. She's doing a SAL on Winter Rose Manor. She's doing it with a lady named Chris. Chris is running it. So Cynthia's doing separate videos just focusing on the SAL. I'm not doing the sal with them because I'm going to have to go at my own pace with the way my rotation is right now. But I kept seeing that and I thought, oh, I really need to have that. I really, really need to have that. So I am doing this on a 28 count lamb's wool. Hold on. Make sure. Yeah. Lamb's wool Jobelin, which they're not making Jobelin anymore. More's the pity. Because I love my Jobelin, but I guess I'll have to stick with Lugana. I don't do a lot of linen. I do some linen, but I like even weave better. I just do. So anyway, I got started on it, and I have decided, since I don't have the picture here, you'll just have to remember the picture I put up here. Let me put it up here again. That there's with the two birds, one bird is red, one bird is more of a tan white color. I am making both birds red because it's just kind of like a little tribute to my dad in memory of him, because red was Dad's favorite color. So this is where I am right now. I just got started on it. I haven't gotten very far, but that's where I am. And I think I'm going to thoroughly enjoy this as well. So that's where I am, but I'm going to have to print out a copy of the picture of the actual pattern so that I'll have it to show you when I'm doing these, because I'm going to be showing you quite a while. So there are my colors for it. It calls for overdyes. I am doing DMC because I'd already started using overdyes, and I bought the silk. So I thought, yeah, I think we're going to stick with DMC on this one. So the conversion was a little tricky with some of that, but I did convert the color. So we'll see how it turns out. I think it'll be okay. All right, this one is another one of my starts. Ooh, I'm so excited about this one. This one I actually have the picture with. All right, get in there. Get in there. This is Lady Rose by Shannon Christine Designs. Shannon Christine has some of the coolest patterns ever. Look at that. Oh, that is right down my alley. I love Victorian like stuff and the cameos and all of that. So I love the way the rose colors are striking against the black. So I am, let's see. So I got all the called for DMC. So here are my colors. And I am doing this on, let's see, where's my color info? Do I even have it in here? Maybe. Okay, this is from Atomic Ranch Fabrics, and they actually have a shop in Louisville. They opened an LNS. Rogue Stitching is in Louisville. I've been there. This is where I bought it, and they are the ones who are behind Atomic Ranch Fabrics. So this is just it's a 28 count Lugana, and the color is called Lavender, and it is gorgeousness. And I found, see, I like hoops and Q-snaps, and I've been using the hoop quite a bit, but I found that with this particular, I keep dropping stuff. With this particular fabric, it's better if I use the Q-snap because it stretches the holes a little bit more. But I decided to do it on this lavender because I thought her black silhouette would really stand out against it. So look at that. So that's my start. I am so excited. I love that color. I've got my windows open, and of course it's daytime, so I think it's helping the colors maybe show up a little bit better. Sometimes they don't show up as well when it's at night, when I'm filming at night, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, I'll put those down. They're going to slide anyway. Let me pick up my book. Oh, dropping everything. All right. Got to keep an eye on my timing. I'm doing pretty good on time now, but I got to keep going. Not to rush us through it, but I do have to keep going because I got a lot. All right, this one is, if I can find the right one. This was from last year's Ranch Retreat, which was our local cross-stitch retreat in Litchfield. This one is by Lucy Beam. I think the full name is Lucy Beam Love and Stitches. This is called Shelter Sampler. And so this was exclusive to our retreat. I do not know if she's going to release it anytime soon. They typically wait a year, but we'll see. I like it. And it's really gotten me back into fall stitching. So here are the colors. It's a mix of Gentle Arts and DMC. So there are my colors. And this is stitched on 36 count. 36 count Lappin loops. The color is called Small Potatoes. Lappin Loops is that's run by Megan and her husband, and Megan is the daughter of Rebecca Noland, who is behind Lucy Beam. So let me get this situated so I can show you. And that's about halfway through. I wanted to get it done before the retreat in September, but we'll talk about that here in a few. Okay. So I'm really happy with the way it looks. I'm going to do a simple framing for this. I've already decided. So I'm not going to get really fancy with it or anything, just a nice little frame for it to go in. Because that's how she did it. So I thought, well, that's how I will do it too. And we'll do it that way. But I'm enjoying it because I bought, oh, what's the name of the light? I bought, I'll probably think of it in a minute. I bought a light that also has the magnifier. It's a really good light too. And so I can just see so much better. And I'm stitching on 36 count. So I'm very excited about that. Okay, that is including the 2 full coverage. And of course, I can't show you the gift one. And that is 1/2 of my rotation. So let me come over here and get the other half of my rotation, and we'll go through that. Okay, so here is the other half of my rotation. And I want to keep them separate from this group down here. So I'm going to put them over on the other side, and I'll clean it up when I come home later. It's going to be a mess. Okay, it's going to be a mess, but that's all right. Okay, this one is one of my stitch quarterlies, and I keep collecting them. I have them all on one shelf. And so this one is Fall Harvest. And I'll show you that. It's cute. It's, a nice little fall pattern to have. Not my favorite, but I am actually having fun stitching on it. This is being stitched on 14 count, and the color is called Autumn Splendor Sampler. That's the pattern on the Ada by Fabric Flair. And I do love Fabric Flair, so that's one of the reasons I'm having a lot of fun stitching on this, because Fabric Flair is so much fun to stitch on. Now, I have not stitched on their even weave. I've only stitched on their Ada, but I think their even weave would be very enjoyable as well. And so, and it came with all these little pumpkin floss drops. So I think they're cute. And there are my colors. This one's all DMC. And there's where I am so far. I think the fabric's really cool. I love all the little words about fall on there. So I still have to finish up my pumpkin here, and I still have I've got the whole top of all the vegetables and stuff in the basket to do, and I have to do the checkered tablecloth. So I still have a ways to go on it, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. Having mucho fun. Lots and lots of fun with it. So, which is what matters, right? Pesky notifications again. Y'all gonna get tired of seeing my thumb. I can't handle having a notification on my screen, and I haven't. I mean, they're silent, but it was just a little inconvenient to try to eliminate them just for this. So it's okay. I usually don't have an issue with it. Okay, this is one of my older ones that I have not worked on in a long time. I kind of set it aside. This is called Stitchography. It was in honor of World Cross Stitch Day 2021 by Fat Quarter Shop. And this is the pattern right here. It just has all kinds of cross stitch terms on it. And this is on a 14 count white Aida. Boy, this feels old. But I still have a little ways to go on it. But like I said, I stopped for a while. I put over here, I had to frog this because I spelled stitch S-T-I-C-H. And I'm certified to teach English. I thought that was so funny. You gotta laugh at yourself sometimes. Laughter is the best medicine, right? Okay. And this is one of my favorite project bags. I love it. This has all kinds of purple on it. So they're my eggplants. Oh, wrong side. Got to keep my rotation straight. Okay, that's the Stitchography stuff. All right. This one, I think, is another new one, I think. Let me see. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. I got a lot of stuff in here. Okay, this this is called Star Spangled Ornaments. And let's see, let me find which one mine is. Well, here we go. All right, I'm going to have to carefully fold and show you this. Okay, so it's this one here, the pie piece, pie slice. There we go. This is by Fat Quarter Shop. This is really fun. Excuse the thread because I hadn't finished it yet. I'm just doing these on a 14 count white Aida, and these are going to be ornaments that I'm going to do for, hold on there. I'm going to do these for, I want to do a holiday tree is what I want. Okay, so there's where I am. That was one of my starts. It's fun. It's really cute to work on. I like it. So these won't take me very long at all to stitch up, even with me as a slow stitcher. And here are my colors. All the colors for all the ornaments are on here. And it's all DMC. So this is going to be fun to stitch. My colleagues are wearing me out. There are about, I think, 10 of us in the group. And the thing is, I get notified, like every time somebody does like even a heart reaction to something, it's like you get notified. Like, driving me crazy. Okay. They don't watch these FlossTubes, so they're not going to know. But if they do, still driving me crazy. Driving me crazy. Okay, I think this next one, let's see, do I have, oh yeah, I have the picture of it. Okay. So I started this, and I think I'm going to have to restart. This is King Charles III Coronation, and I really wanted to do this. King Charles was coronated in May of 23, and I just really, I'm an Anglophile, and I love British royalty. I'm just fascinated by it, and so I got this. And it's so funny because there are a lot of people in Britain that are like, they could care less about royalty, but they're around it. They're with it all the time, you know. But, you know, we have the Kentucky Derby here in my state. I could care less. or I couldn't, no, I could not care less. That's the right way. I couldn't care less. Like, I'm not going up there. I'm not getting in that mess. I don't care how many celebrities are on Celebrity Row. Not doing it. Nope, not doing it. I have been to Churchill Downs. I have watched races. It's fun. Not on Derby Day. That would not be fun. Okay, so here are my colors, and it will also, I also bought some Petite Treasure braid, and I'm going to use that for some of his like blingy stuff in there. So the only thing I don't have here is the Petite Treasure braid. That's back in my closet. I think I'm just going to do this. I've got a 16 count. Let's see, is it 16 count? Yeah, I have a 16 count white Ada here, but I don't know. I think that's what I'm going to use, but I'm not absolutely sure. So I'm starting him over again. That's why I have nothing to show you other than the pattern, because I got maybe 10 stitches in and something, I mean, it just wasn't going right. So that one I'm going to start over. Okay, this one, well, I'm just going to fling everything out. I have not touched this one in a long time. I think I did a stitch with me on this one a while back, and that's as far as I've gotten. And this is my own state. So this is, I guess it's called Kentucky. They didn't really give a title for it. So I'm just gonna call it Kentucky. But it has like a picture of a river and trees and just a lot of things that represent our state. We're the half a tobacco leaf state. It's appropriate because we do grow a lot of tobacco. But that's what I'm doing. I thought that would be cool. I'm doing this on a 14 count white Ada. And so I just have the top, like the red part. That's what I've got done right now. That be it. And that's what I've got. So hopefully now with this rotation, I can actually make some progress on it, because this shouldn't take a long time. And there are my colors. These are really nice colors. I like them. But it should not take me that long to get it done. And the pattern's pretty nice. Nicely printed out. Okay, this one, let's see. I'm just not really sure about this pattern. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing it. I pulled it back out. What I may have to do is actually blow up. I think my problem is the actual pattern itself. I need to probably blow this thing up, like make it like 150%, just so I can read it better, because it's not the easiest to read, and I think that's what's frustrating me, because I love this. It's a little rabbit. This is from the Little Stitchery, and it's the Furry Babies series, and this is called Sitting Rabbit. I think that is the cutest little bunny I have ever seen. I love this little bunny. But I think what I really do, it just hit me looking at the actual pattern. I think it's the pattern itself, and I just need to blow it up so that the symbols aren't as hard to see. I took actually this, it's a 14 count minty green opalescent Ada by Zweigart. I have made some progress. What I'll have to do is blow up the pattern, and then I will have to mark off what I've already done. So that won't be a big deal. But this is all I've got right now. You can't tell anything. I haven't touched this in a long time either. But that's what I've got, and these are all the colors. There's a ton of colors that go into it, but in order for that rabbit to look as like 3D and full as it does, you have to have a lot of colors. But I think if I'm going to blow up the pattern a little bit more so I can see the symbols better, and just, I keep saying blow it up. That's kind of our slang thing. It's enlarge the pattern, so you don't think I'm taking bombs too. She's gonna blow up all the patterns. Okay. All right, still doing okay on time. All right. I normally don't have to do this, but my mama gets anxious if I'm not there. And certain times she starts to worry, which I understand. So I just don't want to cause her worry. Okay, now I had to restart this. I have not. I'm going to start all over again, but this is going to be, I guess, another start for me. And these are more ornaments because I want to get some more smalls going. And I like these. Now, they made these into little pillows, but they're 4x4, so they would be, actually, they would be pretty good as pillows. But this is what they are. These are, hold on, snazzy smalls. This is Valentine. Boulder Valley Stitching is the company. Boulder Valley Stitching, called Valentine. And I just like those little patterns. I just think they're cute. They're pretty. And so I have the colors. I've got all the DMC. It's not very many. So I'm ready to go. I just need to, I think what I'm going to do is just look through my fabric stash and just pull some fabric that I think will go great with the Valentines. I've got some smaller pieces already. I got some pink and I've got some red. So those might be perfect for that. Okay, now let me talk to you about this one other piece, which I will not be finishing. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Not going to happen. And I am about as frustrated as person can be. And my Litchfield stitching group had to calm me down. Let me see if I can find a picture of this monstrosity. Where is it? Because I had, there it is. Okay. So I attended the Jingle Ball last December and loved it. Had a great time. Sponsored by Lindy Stitches. One of the designers there was Tiny Modernist, and she had a class on how to stitch and create. She made a design for a gingerbread house. Cute little gingerbread house. I decided to order some fabric for it. So let me show you this gingerbread house first. Okay, so here's the gingerbread house, exclusive to the Jingle Ball. So you had to go to the Jingle Ball to get this pattern. I was like, yeah, let's try that. Get my pattern. I decided, and I have my colors too on my DMC, very bright, cool colors. Okay. I wanted as true to gingerbread color as I could get. Well, I found fabric from Picture This Plus, and it's even called gingerbread. Beautiful color. Picture This Plus has seen some beautiful colors. Well, I started stitching, and I got finished with 2 sides, and then I got started on the 3rd. So here's what I got done. And see, in that's a very pretty gingerbread color. And got started on that 3rd side. And I've got plenty of fabric to spare. Okay, so I love the way the colors pop on this. I mean, look how the colors just pop on that. It's really cool. So there's the bottom part there. And then there's the top of the other one. When I say I have fabric to spare, I'm not joking. This whole side. Started stitching on this. It's by Picture This Plus. And Picture This Plus is known for sometimes the way that they dye their fabric. Sometimes the holes are like it will shrink a little bit where you don't, if it's supposed to be a 28 count, maybe it's more like a 27 count or even like a 29 count. Depends. And so I started stitching on this and I got very angry after a little while. I struggled and struggled, and it's 28 count, and I struggled. And it was just difficult to see the holes. Now, I have not tried a Q-snap. I'm sure that'll make a difference, but maybe not much. One of the ladies at our last E-Town Stitch Day was trying to sell some of her Picture This Plus for that very reason. I got so upset. Yeah, let's talk about this. So I got so upset that I was ready to rip this, and I was going to burn it. I was so irritated with this. So I'm not stitching on this anymore. I'm done. I took it to the Litchfield Stitch Day, told them what was going on. And I said, I'm done with this. You all can have this. Any of you want it, you can have the floss, the pattern, everything. And they're like, whoa, wait a minute. So they stopped me and they said, don't do that. They said, it looks so good right now. They said, go ahead and finish stitching that third side. They said, don't throw that away because you can make ornaments or little pillows or something out of those. So I'm going to finish stitching this third side. I'm going to use the Q-snap and see if I can stretch the heck out of it so I can see the holes. And then I'm going to cut out that one side and I'm going to give it to someone else. They can even have all these colors. They can have all the floss. I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. Now, I'll keep the pattern probably because I don't think they may want to do it. I don't know. If they do, I'll let them have it. But I do like the little house. It's cute. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But yeah, I'll probably finish the third side, but I don't see me doing the fourth side. And I really don't see me putting that little gingerbread house together. Don't see it happening in my future. But yeah, I was not happy. And I did not do, there's a lot of, there's back stitch around the doors. Can you see the back stitch around the doors and the windows and all of that? I didn't do that. The only back stitching I did was the curly cues up here, and it looks fine. Tiny Modernist, what is her first name? I am forgetting all these names today. That's brain fog, I think, but I'm forgetting everything. So she loves backstitch. Loves backstitch. I've noticed some of her patterns are moving away from that, but she does like it. I don't mind backstitch, but I've gotten to the point where I like kind of the softer look of patterns that don't have backstitch. So I've kind of moved in that direction. That's me. So there you go. That's my little drama queen moment there. Okay. So let's take a look. I've got 2 FFOs. Because I don't usually have a lot of finishes. Right? It's always whips. And I have one piece that I did not do, but I added a little touch to it, and then I'm going to hang it up. And you've seen it before. So let me start with my FFOs. All right, so this first one, this is called Paul Love by Dyed to Perfection. Dyed to Perfection is a local company. The ladies in our stitch group at Victoria, and she and her husband make patterns, but they also dye floss, and they dye fabric, and their floss it's a variegated floss. It is gorgeous. So I used one, I think it's called Mediterranean Sea. That's the color I used. And so I used that for the heart and the paw. And then I just used a DMC brown and found an alphabet to go with it, because the pattern it's the heart and the paw that you're going to see. That is their pattern. I added the names of the dogs that I had growing up. So here it is. Let's see, let me do it this way. Okay, I know that glare's awful. So here's the heart and the paw. Look at that it's beautiful variegation. They use a DMC base. I think they use maybe 3865 as their base. and then they dye it, and it's just beautiful the way they dye it. So I did that. This is stitched on a 28 count Parisian Lugana, Parisian stripe Lugana. And then I've got all these names. So here's Sam. Sam and Rusty is in the middle because Rusty was the very first dog I had encounters with. He was the first one in our family, so he's inside the heart. Sam and Rusty were full-grown collies and just as gentle as they could be. Brandy over here, Brandy was a cockapoo. She had a little more Cocker Spaniel in her than Poodle, such a little cutie. And then Toby here was a beagle, and we ended up giving him to a good home on a farm where he could run and play a lot more than he could at our house with the highway out front. And then CJ and Shelby, but were both Sheltie, Shetland sheepdogs. And so these are all the dogs that I grew up with. And so I just really, I wanted to do a little tribute to the dogs. So what I did was I took the panel that's like this, what I did was I took the self-stick mounting board and I put a that light green fabric on it. I found that fabric at Joann's. It was just in one pack, but this green, I pulled it out. It just went perfectly with the heart and the paw. I couldn't have matched that better if I tried. So I put the green on the self-stick mounting board. And then I wanted kind of a rustic look. I didn't like really cleanly finish the edges here on purpose. So what I did was I put a dot of the tacky glue on each corner, and then I stuck that onto the green fabric. And then I put that inside the frame before I put the backing back onto it. And then pieces like this, I just bought a pack of like 100 library cards. And so on the card is all the information about the floss used, the time it took me to finish, the date that I finished, and all of that stuff. So that is Paw Love. And then I finished one of my Stitch Quarterlies. This is Fall is in the Air. And so here is my finish for this one. Now, I want to talk to you a minute about these finishes, especially this one. I haven't finished a whole lot of pieces, and so I'm not that great at it. And so you may be thinking, well, that looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty good, but you're going to notice like up here at the top where it's not, especially this piece, it's not straight across. It's not perfectly even. It's a little bit jagged. I've discovered some things by making things like this. You need a lot of foam core board or sticky mounting board for this stuff, more than you think you're going to need. I have learned from watching tutorials on YouTube, but I haven't had a lot of practice. And so mine are going to look a little rough around the edges right now until I get used to it, but still not too bad. But if it's like anything else. The first few floss tubes, I went back and had to go through some of my first few floss tubes because I was looking for some information about other floss tubers and stuff. So I'm scanning through there. And the first few floss tubes of mine, if you haven't seen my first few floss tubes, man, cringe. If you did go back and watch my first few floss tubes and you're still with me, kudos to you. But, and I didn't start out really wanting to do technically like a floss tube. It was more of a journal for myself, even though it looked like I was talking to an audience. I was kind of doing that just to journal on video my own stuff. And then I was convinced, well, you're talking about cross-stitch stuff. You might as well just make it an actual full-blown floss tube. So around floss tube, between like floss tube 5 and floss tube 7 and 8, I start to get a rhythm going with it. So you can start to see the changes. Well, you grow. You start doing different things. You do things better. So when you know better, you do better. Maya Angelou, right? So when I know better. I'll do better. I do know that I need to get a utility knife to cut these boards more evenly. They actually started to get better as I was working on this particular project. And I even, I've made this handle. The handle could be a little bit cleaner here on the other side. It's got a raw edge. So I need to learn how to make handles better. So I'm going to work on that. This one will suffice. I think it's cute. It's same material as this, so it matches. Got my little bow on here. And the pattern, the fabric on the back is different, but I do have nice clean fabric on the back. And this looks a lot better than the first one that I did that was kind of like this. It's better. So it will continue to get better from there. And I've got my library card with my information on there. I got the idea from Lori Holt to do this, although I just went to Amazon to buy my cards. But this is Fall is in the Air, and this is how it's completed. So I feel pretty happy with it. I think I did all right with it. I think I did okay. And just not all the edges are even. So it's those kinds of things I need to work on. I think my corners are pretty decent. But I still have some work to do. I still have some learning to do. And you know what? That's okay. I'm in the business of teaching people, and I like it when I see kids improve throughout the year. So that's the goal. Okay. Now, this one, I did not stitch this. I don't know who stitched it. My friend got this for me at an estate sale. And it is cross-stitched. It looks like it's a 14 count fiddler's cloth and Ada. And she stitched it in one color, and it's a poem. It says, "A father is neither an anchor to hold us back, nor a sail to take us there, but always a guiding light whose love shows us the way." And she bought that for me last Christmas because of my dad. And so what I did was I had bought a wreath for his funeral, and it had a lot of red and white flowers on it, and it had a lot of red ribbon. So I took one of the flowers and I took a piece of ribbon and I glued it to the frame. And then my husband he's going to put a sawtooth hanger on the back so that I can hang it up. But here it is. I think she did a good job stitching it, whoever it was. But I want to honor the work that went into this. And I hate to see these go into estate sales and stuff, but I'm glad that I like it when other stitchers get a hold of these because we know the value of it. And so I glued the flower, and I took tacky glue, put the flower on there and the ribbon. And with the tacky glue, I've also learned if you let that sit for several hours up to a day, then it's going to be pretty good about staying in place. But you got to give it time to sit. So I'm learning more things about fully finishing things. But this is going to go up on the wall just like that. Okay. All right. So those are my FFOs and kind of embellishment there. Retreat update. So we were supposed to have our second annual ranch retreat this September. That has been unfortunately canceled. There was something that happened that was out of everybody's control. And so Meredith, who is sponsoring the retreat, decided that the best decision would be just to cancel it. Although we are still going to have our retreat in 26, and it will still be in September. So as I get information about that, I will pass that along to you. And I'm sure people who bought slots, she's giving people the choice. So if you signed up for the retreat, she's probably contacted you about whether you want to be refunded or if you want your money just moved to the next retreat, which is what I'm doing. Finally, a farm girl, Chrissy, is going to be our guest designer for that retreat, which I'm very excited about that. I'm excited about meeting her. She has the cutest patterns. I love her Matilda the mouse. So that's, unfortunately, the retreat won't happen this year, but it will happen next year. So at least that's a little more time to prepare and be excited about what's going to happen. Okay, and then last thing, because I'm over an hour now, but I did want to update you on my rotation. And probably with each video, I won't be showing the entire rotation. I may split it in half. We'll see how the rotation works. So I may just show you pieces that I've actually made some progress on. Okay, now that I've updated you. All right, so my crazy craft tip: explore and experiment. So you've seen some examples of that today. I always like to model what I am teaching about. So with my fall is in the air, this one was experimenting to see what I could come up with. Did pretty good. And I even experimented with framing stuff and hope to get much better with that. I've tried silks, loved it. So if you're just coming back to stitching and you are seeing how our world has just expanded so much in the last 10 years, or if you're just starting to stitch, don't be afraid to experiment and try new things. If you've always stitched on Aida, you never tried even weave, go for it. Buy it. You can go to 123 Stitch. I love that site. And you can buy small pieces of fabric for not very much money and just experiment with it. Try it out. See if you like it. Try linen. See if you like that. I'm going to keep trying different things. I tried silks. Loved that. There are several over-dyed brands I have not tried yet. I want to try those. So always be willing to experiment and explore different ideas and options. Stitching patterns that maybe you never thought you would stitch. You're like, that doesn't really seem my style. I'm going to try it anyway and give it a try. So just have fun with it. That's what this hobby is all about. So if you've hung in there with me this long, thank you. I am so happy that you have. I hope that this has inspired you. I hope that this has brought you joy. And that's what I hope with all of my videos, is that I'm able to bring you some joy and just to escape the world outside just for a little while and just enjoy this wonderful hobby that we have. So with that, be creative, be blessed, and I will see you soon.